Summer 2025 was absolutely incredible. It was an exploration of the UK's festival scene. I got the chance to go to some of my favourite festivals, the likes of Fortress, Bloodstock, Arctangent, and it was a chance to see some major bucket list bands, some who had waited over 20 years to see in some cases. It was also a chance to explore some of the smaller local independent festivals here in the UK and a chance to truly appreciate what talent there is on the underground scene. Now, I think I saw about 150 bands from May through to the end of August, so to try and do analysis on each one would be pretty laborious to say the least. And I do have deeper dives on some of those festivals here on this channel, so if you want to go check them out, that would be fantastic. Instead, I've attempted to do my top 10 of all the bands I saw this summer at festivals here in the UK. And it's not really ranked in any particular order, although I think there are some clear winners nearer to the top of this list. So, without further ado, let's get into it. Honestly, I didn't think I would love Static X as much as I did that night as the headlined the Sophie stage on Saturday night at Bloodstock. For me, it was a chance to relive some of my teenage years as I got to sing along to the likes of Black and White, Cold, and they made the festival slot feel very special with all the theatrics, all the props, all the costumes, and it was just wonderful. I got to see Wardruna for the second time this year as they headlined the Wednesday night at Arctangent Festival. They just bring something so unique and different to the stage. They sing in Old Norse, they play traditional pagan instruments, and it's just a celebration of old pagan culture. It's often imitated but never fully replicated. It's an experience to see Wardruna, one which I urge you to try next time they come to your local town or city. I didn't think I would ever get a chance to see Agalok perform live, but I got my opportunity this summer as they headlined Fortress Festival, and the quality of their set far exceeds the quality of this video. Trust me, I got I got pulled apart in multiple directions emotionally that night. It was magical. Another band who had waited years to see Gojira headline the main stage at Bloodstock, and they were absolutely phenomenal. Everything they do is played with so much intention, so much emotion, and it comes across as pretty simple at times, but it is brutally effective. They played pretty much all the classics from the discography, and it was the reason that many people decided to get a ticket for Bloodstock, and one of the main reasons why the festival sold out. Now, the 500 seemingly disappeared in 2023 as the headline TechFest that year. I didn't know what happened to him. I didn't think I'd ever get to see them live again. But I was at the Barrier again as they played Mangata Festival in Nottingham. I didn't think singing The Rising Tide was needed. I didn't think singing that song out loud was necessary for the healing of my blackened soul, but it really was, and it was wonderful. Now, I absolutely loved Cataclysm when I was 17. I got to discover their brand of melodic death metal, and I loved songs like Taking the World by Storm and To Reign Again. As such, I wanted to be at the Barrier as they headlined the Sophie stage on the Friday night at Bloodstock, and I skipped the entirety of Trivium as a result. It seemed like a gamble, but it was worth it. It was just carnage. I've never seen a four-piece band who could be so loud, one guitar, one bass, and the amount of bodies that went over the barrier for their song As I Slither. I think they were attempting to set a record, and I do hope they achieved that. Making sure I got to the barrier to see Leprous at Arctangent this summer was a fantastic idea. They played, they should have been headliners really, especially if they're going to perform like that. I found myself singing along to the likes of Slave, Below, Way Too Loud. So I feel sorry for anybody who was too close to me that night, anybody who was within like a 5 meter radius. They brought a stunning pyrotechnic display, and they've really done themselves justice to really enhance their reputation with that incredible set. Now, Blood Incantation released arguably Album of the Year in 2024 with the critically acclaimed Absolute Elsewhere. It took me a bit longer to really cotton onto this and to truly appreciate what a masterpiece it is. One that blends traditional psychedelic rock, the likes of Pink Floyd, that style, with traditional brutal death metal and technical death metal. It seems like a combination that shouldn't work, but it does. I was really curious to see how this would transpire live and what it would sound like, and it was even better live than it is on record. They were so tight, they were so in sync with each other. The guitar tones I remember were just absolutely incredible. They did not miss a note. It was the reason why the festival sold out this year, or one of the reasons why it did. And there was nowhere else I would rather be rather than the Roundhouse in London that afternoon. Awfulfest was a major surprise to me this summer, namely because I'd never really been into the brutal slamming side of death metal, but this festival really opened my eyes to what talent there is available in the subgenre. Some bands weren't so good on that festival, some bands were very good, and some bands were absolutely elite. And then there was Wormed. They blew me away. I was right at the barrier for this, and it was just I've never seen a band play with so much intensity. They caused absolute carnage. There was stage divers, there was walls of death, circle pits, you name it. And I've still been listening to them several months later, and I'm hoping I get the chance to see them again. I've spoke about God is an Astronaut on my previous videos, and I still need to highlight just how wonderful that set was that night. That wonderful brand of post rock. It was the band I was most excited about for this festival, and my expectations were sky high. Yet somehow they exceeded those expectations. The festival organizer described them as being quite demanding from a technical point of view, but if they're going to produce a performance that's so tight, so emotionally charged like that, let them be as demanding as they want. They played a rendition of Fragile with famous cellist Joe Quayle, and that was the highlight of the set for me. It was just so much better than listening to it on record, listening to it on Spotify. It was so immersive, so atmospheric, so emotional seeing it live. And I'm counting down the days before I get to see God is an Astronaut again.